Hello, middle school power searchers. This is Mr. Wismer, and we are starting Module 4. So, let's just take a look at where we've been and where we're going. You've already completed Module 1, 2, and 3, and you've completed, Module 1 and 2, you did the Project 1, and you just finished Module 3. So now we're starting Module 4. We're digging a little deeper. So let's dig into that a little bit. So in the previous lessons, you've dug in and you found some information about how to search on primary levels and primarily on one level. You ask the question, you find the answer. But in this case, we have to dig deeper. So that's what this lesson is, and moving forward is going to be about, is about digging deeper and going beyond just the first answer you may find. So we're going to focus on some guiding questions in this process. How do I use my search results to help me find new and more information? What is evidence? So we want to understand what the concept of evidence is. And lastly, how do I find what's most appropriate evidence for my task? All right, so let's do an example here. Let's say that we are searching for the robots that called, like, what were those robots that NASA called that when they sent to Mars? They look like this. So we could just do a search called Mars robots. Two simple words that sort of digs into what we need to do. So we can dig in and we may find some things, and we're digging in a little bit, we find some pictures, so we're confirming, yep, we're on the right track. And we're seeing some new words, rover. So we're finding these new words called rover, and we're not sure what that word means or if it's the right word, so we may have to dig into it a little bit. So let's then dig into the word rover. So maybe we want to just search the word rover, or better yet, let's use define rover, and you can see there's no space there. So it's define : rover. So here's the definition of rover. Doesn't look like it says anything about Mars, but about rovers who depart further and further from civilization, maybe. Movie, well, we've confirmed that there's two more here from NASA. So if we dig into this a little bit, we may have to dig in and go into the website a little bit and say, oh, the Mars exploration rovers. And it looks like perhaps the word rover is the answer we're looking for. And let's confirm that by going to another site. Yep, there it is. It's the rover. So sometimes we have to dig in a little bit. We just can't assume that the first question is right there. We have to identify a new term. So we figure out that the new term is rover. Then we have to dig into that term to confirm that that's the word that we're actually looking for. So in this case, rover, or Mars rover, is the correct answer to that term. All right, let's move on. The activity. Take a minute and pause this video and read this paragraph. Get out of your car. So go ahead and do that now. Okay. In the activity, what we want to be able to look for is evidence, or keywords that support the author's position. So they may be facts, examples, definitions, quotes, details, anecdotes, data, or statistics. Well, if you read this, you notice that there was some statistics and evidence in here. So we've got commuting to work by state report. We've got some statistics here, some other keywords that I came up with: transportation alternatives, fuel efficient vehicle, pollution in the air. So these are all as what we would consider keywords. So let's just search one of those and see if this is confirming for what we're looking for. Okay, we've got some census data that's linking us back to where we were. That's good. Let's take a look at this one. We're just going to search this entire statistic, and we can do that sometimes. Okay, so we've got some Department of Transportation. Doesn't anything really link us back to where we were in this one? We might want to break that down a little bit. But in any case, these keywords or concepts tie us back to the main points here. So why is this helpful to us? Well, if we were to support this passage with additional information and research and citations, which we've done before with proper research and citations, those keywords would need to be really important. We'll call those evidence to make sure that what we're doing is legitimate. Okay, So now, in your research moving forward, we've kind of identified how to dig deeper, go 1 and 2 levels deep, and find evidence that what we're looking for is legitimate. Next, we're going to move on to connecting the dots, or also called stepping stones, in which case we may find 4 or 5 levels deep, and we have to connect those dots to get to that end point. So that's where you'll go next. Move on to connecting the dots.